with Eagle in search of resources and ingredients for this alchemy, and Lady Grey stayed behind in order to both keep an eye on Rogue, but also to repair the container. So as Rogue and Eagle wandered off, Rogue was asked if he could perhaps fetch a mortal, whilst Eagle did some business north of Roxtown in the Downs district. Unfortunately, it all goes wrong. After a bestial failure with absolutely zero successes, Rogue ends up riding a dangerous line between open murder and making out with a multitude of university students at a party. Getting completely wasted as a defense against this, over an hour passes, and he finds himself in a strange part of the city with only close to an hour until dawn. A reasonably intense search for temporary haven for the day follows, and eventually he finds after a confusing phone call through Jeanette to Ophelia, Rogue finds sanctuary in the recessed baptismal font of St. Bartholomew's. Ophelia tries to ring Lady Grey's non-existent phone. The day passes, and Rogue awakes and startles an elderly group's prayer meeting after erupting from the pool. After an unconvincing lie about being from the past, you were let out by Martin before openly feeding on him at the front, killing him with your fangs. Chaos ensues. Just skipped over most of that. Meanwhile, the remainder of the odious Chalice coterie convene at the Lord's Tower Monument. Lady Grey socially schools Eagle in his attempted snipes, which leaves him very sullen, like a whipped dog. You as a group, after some discussion, call Rogue, who, it transpires, is currently in a car and coming to pick you up. And the five of you climb into a battered, hot-wired, very bloody, gas-strewn Peugeot 207 and start to drive back towards the club, hearing the cliff notes of exactly what sort of murder transpired from the bright voice of BBC Radio Broadmouth's Graham Torrington. The car journey, though, isn't necessarily harmonious either, as Rogue ends up slamming the brakes after being insulted and perhaps shamed by Eagle. And Ophelia and Oberon get out with Eagle and end up escorting him back to the club on a walk. You somehow begin to cheer him up and manage to, with an excellent series of roleplay and rolls, get the deal back onto the table. Meanwhile, Grey and Rogue ditch the car, pull down a telephone pole onto its bloody chassis with telekinesis, and wander towards the club. And so you all begin to convene at the club, finding the suit-wearing, sleek Malkavian harpy Otto waiting for all of you, his black shoes tapping impatiently on the curb as he meets eyes with, first, Ophelia, Oberon, and Eagle.
Hey, before we commence, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you through Oberon's mic.
So I downloaded a voice changer. I just wanted to show it off to feel special. If you guys are interested, it's $40. It's called Morph Vox. There's a free version as well that has some. Well, anyway, I'm not trying to advertise here, but I just thought it would, if you guys were interested. So
that laugh was golden.
Yeah, my laugh. Some of the laughs are pretty funny.
Alrighty, so we'll pick back up with Oberon, Ophelia, and Eagle as you guys have managed to spot, waiting for you out of the way of kind of foot traffic, is this sleek, suit-wearing Malkavian harpy. You can't really see Lady Grey or Rogue anywhere, but he looks like he's got a small, slight smirk on his face and is waiting impatiently for you to arrive.
So it's not the same guy from last time, is it?
It
It
is. It's
is
Otto.
Oh, I thought you said Otto was a Toreador.
no, Otto is a Malkavian.
Oh, okay. Uh,
Ooh.
well, I'm going to approach. At first, I'm gonna pretend like I don't see him, and then I'm gonna look at him and turn very, very suddenly and be like, "Oh, Otto, what's going on? Good to see you. I see you must have loved the place if you're back again so soon."
I'm
Well,
also gonna play it cool, so to speak, and also like just approach to like embrace and totally just say hey as if I have no idea anything's going on.
alrighty. He meets both of you in sort of nice formal ways. Perhaps a formal handshake with Oberon, and he'll kiss your hand, Ophelia. And again, this slightly slimy individual perhaps creeps you out, but you're using it to your advantage here. Um, and he says, "Well, the amount of interest that you have managed to spark has led me to come back. Yes, perhaps a second try at you would be beneficial for all parties."
Well, why don't we head inside and you can tell us all about your interests?
Yes, well, perhaps you can get a table ready for me at some point. I'm particularly looking for Rogue. I hear he's had a busy night.
Huh, really? Well, you'll have to tell me all about it. I haven't seen Rogue since, oh, I would say probably last night, actually.
Well, if that's true, I'm sure you're in for a surprise.
I love
Does
surprises. Is there anything? Sorry, I'll let you
no
speak.
no
But
no
is
go
there
ahead go
anything
ahead.
you want? Is there? Do you have any requests for your table, kind sir?
Um, I think it'd be best for it to be as private as possible for your sakes.
Private table. You got it. Anything for
I'm
you,
just
Otto.
wondering what Eagle's doing. Does he look has he left? Has he hidden? Does he is he standing there? Does
Eagle
Otto
has
see him?
basically shadowed you and
Okay.
is standing there with his hood pulled back up and trying to hide his markings, definitely, and staying out of the way.
Cool. So yeah, honestly, I would probably start walking into the club to get the table ready, I guess. And I would also try to go to Jeanette or Jenny or whatever we decided to name her to see if she could call. Wait, does Rogue have a phone still, or is it broken for some reason?
Rogue still has a phone that works, I believe.
Okay, so I'll ask her to call Rogue and just tell her that Otto is here actively looking for him and to let Lady Grey know. But I'll just also go and set up the table. So I don't know if Oberon comes with me or says bye to Otto, but I don't really say bye to him. I'll just walk away and start doing that.
Okay. So as you both start to head in, Eagle just melts into the crowd. If you don't make any active,
I was
uh,
gonna. I'll take Eagle. Eagle, are you okay for a little bit um while we set up here, or would you like? I don't want to abandon you. You know, I feel like we brought you here. I don't want you to feel sidelined or anything. Would you mind if maybe I could take you up to my office and set you up with some solitaire or something? I know you like computers.
sure, I'll come in with you.
Cool. I'll take you right to my office. I've got I've got solitaire. I've got Minesweeper, pinball.
I'll have plenty to entertain myself with, I'm sure.
Good. Awesome. Then I'll take Eagle upstairs. Out of I don't want him. I know he's discreet, but I don't want him to catch someone's eye, especially not Otto.
Yeah. So kind of yanking his drawstrings to make his hood even tighter than before. He kind of slinks into the club and follows you quietly and quickly. You leave him in the VIP, well, the above the VIP room upstairs in your office.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
there probably wouldn't be too much sensitive information on my work computer.
yeah. He says, "I'll be all right here, just on a chair. I've got a phone,
Good. Anything
some
else
cat.
I can get for you? Would you like maybe a drink?
I might sort myself out later if you're happy to give me permission, but I'll do so in an alley, not in your club."
Oh, okay. You know, you're a nice guy. Uh, I think that I got the wrong impression of you initially. You're a nice guy.
Well, there are rules and there are things that happen to those who break them. I've got to learn to play them.
Well, don't get too lonely without me.
I won't.
I'll leave him at this point.
Alrighty. So you go back to head down. Meanwhile, Ophelia, you were asking Jeanette to phone Rogue.
Yep. Just to phone Rogue and tell her that Otto's here actively looking for him, and to just give them a heads up before maybe they want to prepare themselves or something before they run into him.
Okay. Um,
Actually, I guess I could just call Rogue. Actually, there's time. I'll tell Jeanette to set up a table for Otto. That's a much better use of her time and my time. She can go set up the table. I'll call Rogue.
yeah. All right. Uh, so Rogue, as you and Lady Grey are walking the streets at kind of a still relatively early hour of 8:30 at night. What's the atmosphere, perhaps, between you and Lady Grey Rogue? Is it one of tension still, or is there sort of burgeoning acceptance, or um,
Definitely from Rogue's perspective, I would say Rogue is face is probably still covered in the blood he's been crying. To an extent, he is still a messy bitch. But,
mhm.
he's definitely calmed down and he's definitely still holding Lady Grey in high regard, that he knows what she's doing and the bollocking that he's going to receive is all he knows she's doing it out of place of love, so he's really chill with it at the moment. There is no atmosphere from him.
Okay.
I think for Lady Grey, at this point, her mind has moved away from what has happened, and her mind is now on the next phase of how do we fix this? So she's definitely probably walking through the streets, not paying much attention to her surroundings and more paying attention to her mind palace of how she's going to fucking fix this.
Alrighty. So, in that actually relatively quiet walk that you're having, I do believe, Rogue, you are wearing Lady Grey's hoodie, as you left yours in the car and have got less bloody clothes on, but still bloody underneath.
Yes.
What you did remember to do, though, is transfer your phone from the old clothes to the new. And as it starts to buzz, the ringtone going, you see that Ophelia is on the line for you.
Rogue is feeling quite. I think salty is a good word towards the twins right now. So
Yeah.
he's just going to pass the phone over to Lady Grey.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you've got to press the green button, by the way. Just swipe.
Nothing happens. I'm doing. Do it, Rogue. Just do it.
I will, answer the call for Lady Grey.
Hello, Rogue's phone.
Hello, Lady Grey. And just like walking around, if there's big windows in the front, I'm not sure how it's actually designed yet. I'll be watching Otto discreetly. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to still be as discreet as possible
Sure, yeah.
on the phone call, and I'm just gonna be like, um, Otto's here looking for a rogue. I just thought I'd let you know. We're setting up a table for him, a private one. I wanted you guys to know so you could prepare yourselves.
Thank you for the heads up.
We'll keep him busy, so you can take some time if you need.
Thank you. Please inform dearest Otto that we will be there as soon as we can.
In fact, do you need anything here from me?
I will let you know if I do, or we do.
All right. You can tell Rogue to text me, or he can teach you how to text.
That sounds like a plan. I yes, sure.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, Rogue. I need you to do the red button. I think.
Yeah, swipe. Swipe, come on. Swipe like you've been on Tinder. I know you've been on Tinder.
Rogue.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll close the call.
Lady Grey doesn't eat fast food.
Oh God, Tinder would be fast food, wouldn't it? Oh Christ. Oh, God forbid what Grinder is. That's just like a kebab from the shop on the corner, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
Yep, I'll hang up.
Oh, yeah, go on, Ophelia. Go on.
I was just going to say I would go to the table and that's it. Yeah, sorry.
All righty.
Little one, we have a problem.
And what's the problem?
4 letters has quite a position of power with
Hangman.
Camarilla. No, we're not
Is
going
there
to.
an L?
No, but there's a great big massive Otto.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he happens to be at the nightclub. Oh, and he happens to be looking for us.
This wouldn't be about...
Oh, I couldn't possibly imagine what it's about, little one. Oh, we do not have much time for me to fix this. I really need to engage damage control straight away. We need a backup plan. We need 16 backup plans.
I'll go get a car.
No, I think you've driven enough cars and done enough damage together with them today. Besides, I think taking time to get back to the nightclub will help. We need time to think.
Yeah, okay. No more stupid ideas from me. What about a steak? No, that's a stupid idea. Shutting up.
We'll file that under Plan Z-99.
Hey,
Dash
it made
Z.
the list. Yeah, with that, I imagine it goes quite silent for these two as they... I'm picturing power walking. I don't know about you, Artemis.
No. She's slow walking.
Oh,
She is
slow walking.
delaying the time in which we get back to the nightclub. Because while I may have a plan that I do not want to engage, I imagine she's going through every possibility in her head. I really don't want to engage that plan, but I think it's the only one. Oh, fuck it. That's going to be the plan.
I think you might want to either skip back to the club or do a time skip, Esty.
Yeah.
So we're going to, where me and Ophelia are sitting at the table,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for Otto.
Oh,
Oh,
I would have. She told me to. Sorry, I would have gone to Otto and told him that I talked to them. They'll be here as soon as they can, and that he should just come inside and wait for them inside since they are on the way instead of waiting outside. It's less convenient for him than being nice
yeah.
club.
He,
You know.
he will say, have you talked to them then?
Yeah, I just called Rogue, um, and I said that you were here looking for them.
So you're still using mobile phones?
Oh fuck! I don't say that. LOL.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. He,
Uh. There.
seeing your consternation, he will kind of put a hand out gently and say, "Don't worry, my dear. That is a minor breach at best. There are many of us who I'm sure carry such devices. It's just best to be cautious, though."
Of course. Uh. You know. At any rate, if you wanted to come inside.
Did they say how long they would be?
No. Rogue said that they would be as fast as they could be. Um. You know how he is. He didn't really know how long that would be.
Well, I'm assuming that they would have obeyed some of the tenets, so they have not left the city. That being said, longest I imagine it would take is perhaps 40 minutes from the furthest recesses. No, they'd have to be deep in Anarch territory in order to take that long, so I'm sure we can both expect them rather soon, can't we?
That makes the most sense to me. You know, I'm kind of new here. I'm gonna have to trust you on the distances and times. But if it's exactly as you say it is, then I think you're spot on.
Well, Ophelia, perhaps I should explain to you that that's what I'm here for then. People view harpies as those who simply use others' troubles as a way to increase their own standing, but that is not what we are. We are here to help. We are here to help, whether you need information or perhaps just a helping hand in blending in. We are your guides, not simply monsters preying on your weaknesses. So, why don't we happily while away the time until they arrive? Think of good things before the bad comes in behind.
That was beautiful. Otto, seriously, I wish my brother here were here to have heard that impassioned speech. It really that was something. So yeah, after you, I'll kind of motion to the door and I'll say, we've got a private table set up just like you asked, and yeah, let's while away
Up
the
the
time.
stairs. Yes, very well. And he wanders up the stairs towards the private room that you prepared for him. As he walks up to you, Otto, he does kind of sorry to you, Oberon. Too many O names. That's the issue.
Mm.
Um, he does a slight little bow, not at all mocking, very sensible, very formal, and says, "I must say that this is a much nicer decor than downstairs, which is impressive, really, all things considered.
I'm glad you appreciate it.
I am glad that, despite my probing, you did manage to keep your cool, and hopefully I shall not be as irritating to you today.
Well, I'd appreciate that.
As I was saying to who I presume is your sister in some form, I am here as an aid for what comes next, and hopefully you will learn something from it, and so shall I, and all shall benefit, and the Camarilla itself shall benefit. So why don't we sit and chat and wait?
Sure.
If there's anything you want to ask, you can.
Well, you could start by telling me what's the nature of your visit today. Sounds like, uh, you're not too happy to be here.
Ah, well, I'm happy to be here. I am unhappy regarding the nature of my purpose here, unfortunately. The The Camarilla, you see, is a large, ungainly beast to try and manage. And that is because it has so many limbs. And each of those limbs have fingers, and each of those fingers are unaware of what the other limbs and fingers are doing. And when this beast is trying to claw and crawl around the city, it ends up sometimes getting itself into a bit of a muddle. The muddle that I have been made aware of is quite in need of unraveling and pertains particularly to someone who very much matches the description and capabilities of Rogue.
Oh, and what did Rogue muddle this time?
Well, nothing perhaps too bad. A few cases of murder wouldn't be too bad, apart from the fact that it was in I would say broad daylight, but as close to that as we can get in our current position. The
Oh,
preaching of our masquerade is unfortunately the reason I am here, and though I cannot dole out punishment, I am no prince. I am here nonetheless on his behalf.
that's what the Camarilla are for, huh? If it wasn't for you guys, you know, who knows what would be happening. Everybody running wild. I think order is important. It's important to establish order, and that's why I admire you, Otto. It, other people, they might say, "Oh, I don't bow to the whims of authority," but I think there's a certain importance to conformity. You know what I mean?
Hmm. It's an interesting outlook. Yes, I am definitely for this order, as without it, the Second Inquisition would be knocking on all of our doors, I'm sure, and trying to burn us alive. That being said, the Camarilla, it
So,
has its merits, but also its issues, as I'm sure you're also aware. Not
oh,
being from here.
you have issues with the Camarilla?
No, but people do. Perhaps
Oh,
people like you.
why would I? What do I have against the Camarilla? I'm just trying to run a nightclub.
Yes, you're trying to run a nightclub, but you have told me that you're not new to these nights, yet you are new to this city, so you will have come from somewhere else. And perhaps that is tied into issues that I do not wish to pry into, but I am merely advocating my awareness that relationships with the Camarilla are often strained for younger vampires.
Your concerns are displaced, Otto, I assure you.
That is good to
Uh,
hear,
yeah, instead of strained, think of them more as budding.
buddy.
New, but not strained.
Well, that is excellent to hear.
So, what is it exactly that Rogue did? I don't want to be surprised when they show up here.
Well, the brief reports I had and continue to receive, it is definitely a matter of murder. Murder in another's domain who was not informed and has reached out to me. And open feeding in front of mortals, informing them of our existence.
Oh, darling.
Apparently, an extended police chase.
Oh, dear.
Hmm. He's caused quite the ruckus.
That must be a real headache to cover up, huh? What are you going to do about it? Contact
Well,
the
with the
media?
number of with the number of mortals who've seen it, there's either going to have to be a mass disappearance or some excellent work by some of me and mine, I suppose. But
Well, you
the
know,
real thread that I worry for is really the profile of Thinbloods needed some good things to come from them, a proof of their strengths rather than their weaknesses, a proof that they knew how to act, that they could be like the vampires they pretend to be. Unfortunately, this has not been done, and the Camarilla's already aggressive view towards the Thinbloods may be calling for some sterner or stricter punishment.
Oh, isn't that concerning? You know, I feel like you could just as easily point the finger at so many other of Rogue's character qualities, or Thin Blood in general. You know, you could criticize their upbringing. You don't have to go straight for the Thin Bloods. I feel like
That is
that's
true.
just, that's such a surface level interpretation. And uh, Otto, you don't seem like a surface level type of person to me.
So it's a little too conveniently relevant to you, right? I think yeah, you have a point, Oberon.
Perhaps you speak some truth, and the Camarilla also agrees it is not a simple construction, and it will look at she who raised the Thinblood, she who has taken up the really the mantle. Given that I've heard that she is not the true sire,
Huh. Well, that that may become relevant in a short time.
but she has
The fate of the sire, but we'll come back to that later.
she has though taken up the mantle, hasn't she? She is
Yeah, and Lady Grey is quite a brainwasher from what I've seen these past few nights. So if anybody could cover it up, I think she could she could handle herself with that.
Do you also think that Lady Grey, the adopted sire of Rogue, would be able to perhaps clean up this mess if given enough time, Ophelia?
Absolutely. Lady Grey is, I mean, you know her. She's a league all her own. I think she could easily take care of this.
That is excellent to hear.
So while we wait for the rest of our party here, why don't we entertain ourselves with a game of chance? It's called Russian roulette.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
You go first. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't actually say that. But I don't know. I just couldn't think of a good. I would just want to move the scene along, unless there's something else Otto wants to say.
No, um, no, he'll say that he's got all that he needs for now from you, and he'll happily wait until um, both Rogue and Lady arrive, um, and perhaps he politely excuses himself and asks for feeding rights, and he'll go and mingle with the folks downstairs.
Sure.
Perfect.
He does so, leaving you and Ophelia alone in this private room on the top floor.
Hopefully, we didn't just accidentally agree to something that we don't really understand the consequences of.
You guys, I think you should go to Rogue, and unless Rita wants to do something else, I think you should go to
No,
Rogue and the other one, Rogue
I,
and Gray.
Alrighty. Um, yeah, so it's been about another 10-15 minutes, I think, that exchange. How how slow are you guys walking? It's kind of up to you at what point you arrive.
Yeah, I think round about now is the time that we turn up, because I think she now has a plan formulated in her head. Oh god.
Okay. So yeah, you come up to kind of the corner of the street and see the White Rose, its simple sign resplendent over a line of people in pretty pleasing to the eye wear, waiting to gain entry within. But would you walk to the front entrance through the kind of past the bouncer as VIPs entering, or would you come around the back given the possible state of your clothes?
Back entrance.
Back entrance. Excellent. So coming kind of back underneath through the, I'd say, servant's entrance almost, you cut through the kitchens, past Rogue's delivery room, and where would you head?
Lady Grey, as soon as we arrive, will have advised Rogue that they need to clean themselves up.
Good thing I've got a shower in this delivery place.
Yeah.
Ah, isn't that handy?
Rogue, Rogue's going to disappear for a short while, and we'll catch up with Lady Grey later.
Gonna hose himself down pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Really draw
She's,
it out as well.
She's off to go find some perfume or something that she's probably left in one of the rooms.
So would you head through the main room up to the upstairs office, or
Yes.
yeah,
Trying to stay as out of sight as possible.
Yes. Sure. I'm just not going to have a roll. I think it'll be all right. It's quite a large nightclub. It's quite busy, and Otto isn't especially looking for you, so you're able to slink between crowds and make your way upstairs.
See, I've heard differently. I've heard he is looking for me, but you know.
Well, he's not actively. You know what I mean, hopefully. Yeah, you might even catch a glimpse of him, and if you don't, maybe Oberon or Ophelia would see that he is currently carousing happily.
Good, he doesn't seem that annoyed then. Fine, good, perfect. This is fine.
Would you cross paths with those in the VIP suite? Heading up?
If I can avoid it, no.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think I would be kind of looking out for Lady
Sure.
Rogue, and I wouldn't necessarily call her over, but I would kind of give her the eyes, you know? We're here, we are, like, if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, trying to get up the stairs, which is a quite open, grand area, is difficult without being seen. So you'd probably spot Lady Grey coming up the stairs, definitely.
So,
Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, I would say that she kind of looks to be on a mission, so I would kind of like scan back out for Otto and just kind of, you know, physically let her know that I'm kind of here if she needs help.
Sure.
Marvelous. Cool. Well, she'll go to the office. She'll put on perfume. I believe you said Eagle's in the office, didn't you?
Yes. So you open the door, and they're kind of sitting, slouching really on the chair with his boots across the desk, so they're not dirtying the desk, so his ankles are kind of resting on the corner. On his phone is Eagle, who looks surprised to see you enter.
Please get your feet off the desk.
Yep.
Thank you. What the hell are you doing in my office?
Oh, yeah. They didn't tell you, did they? They invited me back?
Did they?
They did. Said I could just hang up here.
How useful. How marvellous. How charming. You should stay in the office.
I will.
Good. Good. Yes. It's a pleasure to see you.
Alright, alright. See you in a bit, I guess.
Don't mind me, just need to go in this drawer and pick out this perfume and make myself smell good.
He just goes back to his phone and continues texting.
Good. And she will leave the office and head back to Rogue to double check on his status. Or their status, I should say.
He Mahonan's work too for Rogue. It's he, they, not just they.
Good.
Yeah, I imagine that's been enough for Rogue to get in the shower and de-blood himself.
Yes, yeah. I imagine Lady Grey kind of back down the stairs, tries to detach herself from any conversation with folks politely as possible and as quickly as possible. Tiptoes downstairs just in time for Rogue to come back out of the shower and start to redress himself.
I will point out, Rogue is actually dressing up nicely. These jeans do not have rips.
It's one of the new ones that I bought last week.
Quelle horreur.
So yeah, the outfit's quite similar to opening night outfit, waistcoat, shirt, but non-ripped jeans.
You are taking this seriously.
Learning.
Well, I could see how seriously you were taking it, and I got scared.
Well, the good news is I have a plan.
Oh,
Yes.
It-
Let's go.
it's not diablerie, is it? Nope. Okay, we're not telling me. Okay, cool.
No, we're going to meet the harpy.
Mm-hmm. Rogue will follow Lady Grey out, literally sticking right behind her. If we could breathe, you'd feel me on your neck. Oh wait, I can breathe. I'm lifelike.
Yep.
is going to work so adorable.
Yeah. I mean, you can all breathe. It's just you don't need to.
Yeah, well, breathing comes naturally to me, at least.
Yes. So
I don't think Lady Grey has breathed for a very long time at this point.
I don't know. I think some people's actions have managed to elicit a couple sighs recently.
Yeah.
Do I take your breath away, Mum?
You'll get a slap around the ear roll if you say that again.
Shutting up.
All right. So do you head up with Rogue?
Yes. And she's going to do something very specific. She's going to find the table that Otto is sat at. And she's going to very poignantly sit opposite him at the table and immediately just start talking. Because she wants control of this conversation.
So he is currently not on the dance floor, but next to the dance floor, talking with a group of mortals.
Okay.
If that makes sense, he is
Yeah.
listening to someone else tell him a probably not too interesting story about the antics at their farm, and laughing at the right times and just kind of listening to them and enjoying their company a little bit.
Perfect. Then I can really get to grips with this. She will tell Rogue to go sit at the at the private table, which is a private table, so just point in that random direction. And then she will walk over to Otto and mingle as closely to him as possible and in the group as she can get, and she will go, "My darling, if I could just steal you away for a conversation, that would be very much appreciated."
Lady Grey, how lovely to see you today. You're looking
Mhm.
as radiant as ever.
Thank you. Let's go.
All right, to business then. My ladies, that was lovely. I must away for now, but perhaps I'll see you next time. And with a quick farewell, he follows you upstairs.
Good. And go to the private table. And then he will do that. She's a she. She's definitely a she. She will do the whole showing him to a chair and sitting at the very opposite side of the table. So we are both very definitely aware as to why you're here.
And
So let's get down to business. I need
What
time to
business?
clean this up.
That is
And
good to hear.
that means I need you to keep very, very quiet. So, here's the deal. I have something you will probably want.
He smiles.
I happen to know the very location, down to perhaps a 30 centimetre by 30 centimetre squared area, of where there is a known diablerist.
Hmm.
I imagine that information's quite valuable.
It is.
Probably more valuable than what happened this evening, or today, last night, whatever.
This morning, I suppose. It was but a few hours ago, and as such, I have managed to keep the word on it relatively low.
Marvellous, just as I'd like. So here's the deal. You continue that and keep that going for as long as you can, and perhaps a lot longer than that. And I will give up the diablerist.
He managed. He wipes back his hair, kind of styling it as he does a little bit, processing this information. And as he does so, he sighs, strokes his immaculately trimmed beard. I do not believe that that is, in the eyes of the law, entirely fair. There must be punishment for wrongdoings. There is an extent in which cover ups can be made, but there was an awful lot of blood.
What punishments would be sought?
Well, given the nature of the crime and the nature of he who called me to ensure that justice was done, depending on if this was a repeat offence or the nature of those who did offend, whomever they may be. Final death is in the offing. Not the only possible punishment, but certainly it's got its name in the hat. But first, before we discuss such horrible matters, such macabre punishment, tell me of this diablerist.
Not quite the agreement that we had in place.
Well, if I'm to evaluate this deal you are attempting to strike, I must know what it is that I am purchasing. You wouldn't want me to make a deal with you and have to go back on it.
No, that is true. And she's going to glance at Rogue very briefly before looking back at Otter and going and saying,
Well,
the
why don't we start with something simple then?
go on.
In the attempt to perhaps make this deal go through, it would be interesting to know if certain things were true. For instance, the diablerist is a male, is he?
Correct.
Rogue, stand up for me.
Rogue will stand up. On
Is he
command.
about this high? And he kind of holds his hand to Rogue's head.
From vague recollection, I would say yes.
Is he white?
Well, perhaps until recently. I know what you're getting at.
Would he fit, lady?
Would he fit what, Harpy?
If you are attempting to bypass this entirely and set another one up for the fall, he needs to look the part. Does he mirror Rogue enough that those who saw him at a glance would think them the same man?
I see what you're getting at. That's clever. Yes, he would.
A mass murdering diabolist. I'm sure if I was to get all the credit for this, then perhaps things could be forgotten otherwise.
Deal.
Well, if that is satisfactory for all those involved.
If that was aimed at Rogue, Rogue is just going to nod his head repeatedly, getting quicker with each nod.
Its head will move around the table to Ophelia and Oberon as well.
I shrug my shoulders. Yeah, and then I'll nod.
Well, yeah, this is cool with me, and I don't think I really have a say in the matter. I think this is chill.
Well, let me just mark these tidbits down. And he pulls out the same black book that you had seen before from his inner jacket pocket. Opens it to not towards the front, but towards the back instead, and begins to mark down some letters, some calligraphy, some non-English letters for certain, before passing it across to you, Lady Grey, and saying, I know you cannot read it, but trust me, you will want to sign it. And he signs it with a flourish and passes it to you.
She would like to quickly analyze him just to see body language and things
Sure.
like that, to sort of tell whether he's got any sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, the use of the English language is vacating my brain. Come on, brain. Subconscious tics or anything that might indicate,
Sure.
that he's not being truthful and things like that. Thank you, brain. Thank you for remembering the words.
Good brain. Have a good one. Yeah, go ahead and give me wits and insight then.
Wits and insight. Okay. Oh, crap. Oh, crap.
What'd you get?
0 successes, bestial failure.
Oh, you
Oh,
didn't. Well, I would
Ooh.
remind you that you do have willpower. Should you
I do,
use
and I'm going to use it.
it. You guys really roll a lot of bestial failures. Oh, man.
We're a beast gang.
Where on earth is my... I mean, that's 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. That's fine. You don't really mean much, but it's not a bestial fail. You succeed only a little bit, to the point that you don't think that there's anything obvious wrong going on.
That's fine by me. She will
yeah.
sign it.
If he is tricking you, he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I assumed that would be the case.
And you do sort of hesitate as you try to see past the veil effectively, and end up having to sort of rethink everything very quickly, use a willpower point to review the ideas in your head and see if you're not stumbling into an awful plan. And in that hesitation, Otto moves. His hand goes to his side and pulls out like an old-fashioned radio. Well, it's actually not a radio. It's actually an old-fashioned tape recorder. And as he clicks, um, it goes from being stationary to rewinding. And he clicks it once more, it stops, and then clicks it to play. And you hear both Oberon's and Ophelia's voices, one after each other, each confirming that you are the adoptive sire of Rogue. And some other conversation through that I've marked down. And he says, "Trust me, it's in your best interests. I am here to help you."
There's something I want to attempt, but I have a strange feeling this could go very wrong.
I'm just going to quickly add that as the tape starts playing, there is a very definite pointed glare in a shared direction.
I would like to use my far reach to pull the little black book closer before it swaps hands again and have it just flip to a early middle page. I know I won't see much, but I know the kind of information that goes in these books, and just a glance may prove useful.
Okie
I
dokie.
want it to kind of look like it was a gust of wind or something, however, though.
Sure. Do you have to do anything overt to activate this?
It's a rouse check to use the power.
Yep.
Oh, my hunger goes up. Lovely. There goes my no hunger. And I think, well, it's only a notebook. It's not really going to be that heavy, so I don't think I need to roll for it.
Yeah, it doesn't talk about anything like that. So
No.
now at least we will say that goes through. And
I mean, because I'm being so specific, though, about it looking like the wind or something, I'm happy to roll a performance or something if you'd sooner. I don't want to get away with too much for free.
Yeah. I was just going to do a check for him based on that and set a difficulty.
Can you play that? Can you play that again? I didn't really make it out because of all the music in the background.
Plus, I do love a good recording of myself.
Nice.
Is that strictly necessary? How about we take the tape and we, I don't know, mush it into small pieces and throw it in the Thames?
Don't be hasty now. I just want to hear it again because I don't feel like it was a good recording of me. I'd like to restate my. Let's go somewhere more quiet and maybe, that looks like an old tape recorder.
Sure. All right. First of all, Rogue, your power goes off, and it doesn't seem to notice much, but the page does flick across a little bit, kind of as if wind is blowing it a few pages across. It goes to a couple of blanks before settling on a mark with some other, really closer to sigilry than language. If you want, you can try and memorize a word, a verse.
Could I use an occult roll?
You can use a intelligence and occult to see if you recognize.
I would like to try that, please.
Sure, go for it. Give me that.
One success.
That is not enough. It looks like some weird writing. It was there for 2 seconds before, snap, the book goes shut, and it's tidied away. I mean, wait, has Lady signed it?
Yes.
Yes, she has. Okay.
I would like to, if it was possible, I would like to have been looking over Lady Grey's shoulder to see if I could make out what it says or read it in some way.
Yes, yeah, you are also happy you're also welcome to make either intelligence and occult or intelligence and history
Okay,
I
perfect.
believe it's history is the other one I'm looking
History is not a role.
for. Academics? Is that what I'm thinking?
Academics is a role.
Yeah, academics. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, intelligence and academics, you said?
Or occult. Yeah, academics or occult, but paired with intelligence.
Does either philosophy or blood magic have anything to do with what we're doing?
Not really, no. Unfortunately.
Okay, that is 4. Three successes.
3 successes. Okay, that's not enough to really fully succeed, but it is enough to have an inkling. Looking at the language, it is a language. This isn't a personal cipher by him. You recognize it as being like um, almost Sumerian or Aramaic or something ancient and Middle Eastern in origin. But yeah, you don't know what it is. You cannot read it, but when you realise that it's written from right to left, that narrows down an awful lot of things. Alrighty, sorry, trying to catch back up with the action then. Oberon had said some things. Sorry, would you mind repeating what you'd said? I've lost the plot.
I just want to hear the recording again because it seems. I mean, there was loud music playing in here, and you know, even though we're out of reach, the bass really seemed to distort my voice. And if I'm gonna be recorded, I want it to be 100% accurate.
Sure. He winds back the tape again and plays it to you. And what you had said was that when he had asked about Lady Grey and Rogue, you had confirmed that Lady Grey was the adoptive sire of Rogue, that she had taken up the mantle and would be more than able to clean up. And then he had asked a leading question of the same ilk to Ophelia, and had said, do you also think that the adopted sire, Lady Grey of Rogue, would be able to clean up this mess? And she had responded in the affirmative.
Just going to say again, in a court of law, leading questions like that, not accepted.
I would kind of
Neither-
nod.
Neither is
That
entrapment.
doesn't
Wait, I
really
was thinking
sound
Lady
like me.
Grey. Oh.
That
Is
could
that
have been anybody.
I was just gonna like honestly, sorry guys, I see now that you guys are trying to go somewhere else. I would just kind of like shrug and I would say, I didn't realize, to be quite honest, I didn't realize that was unknown.
It wasn't, but it's nice to have confirmation. This is not really blackmail material, but it is simply a tip of the hat to the cards I am playing with. Well, once this business is concluded, I am more than happy to leave the tape here. It is truly not worth much, but as I said, and as I aim to repeat, I am here to help. Make sure that you mind your tongues with those you do not know in the future. It is not just kindred who wear recording devices.
And by the way, the fellow you're after, he's upstairs in my office.
It's so close. That is good to hear. How long is he staying there for?
I'm a little bit like in a mood, so I'm gonna actually leave as soon as the conversation is over.
Do you mean now, or as in now that it's resolved and they're just kind of doing their nitpickety
Yeah,
stuff?
now that it's like just resolved, Ophelia, I'm just gonna kind of walk away, maybe look around to see what's happening. I don't really want to stay and talk with Otto, to be honest.
Okay. So do you politely excuse
Don't
yourself, or do
blame
you
you.
simply wander off?
Politely, I would just say, well, now that that's done with, my night will begin, and I'll kind of excuse myself and walk away.
I'd like to go. I'd like to go to speak to Eagle before we turn him over and to make sure he hasn't escaped.
Sure, all right. So you both excuse yourself, and Otto gets up and shakes your hand, Oberon, and bows to you, Ophelia, but definitely lets you go.
Sorry to butt in. Does Oberon say he's going to see Eagle?
No, when she's excusing herself, then I will also do that.
Damn you.
Well, logistically, you guys are upstairs, and there's a way down, or there's a way next door towards the office. So it will become exceedingly obvious.
As soon as he sees us turn to the office, they'll know where he's going, basically.
Yeah.
But
In which case,
Otto doesn't necessarily know.
oh no, I just didn't want Oberon to go unaccompanied. So Rogue's just going to jog alongside, catch up.
Okay. Leading
To
the,
lean forward and wipe a tiny bit of blood off his ear. Just kidding. He showered.
leaving the
It's
two
Rogue.
elders
He probably missed a bit.
to
Probably.
conclude the business details. So, with the kind of mass exit and escape from the harpy, Lady Grey, you're left alone with Otto opposite across from him. His arms back folded, jacket hanging. Now you probably imagine heavy with who knows what. If there's a ledger in one pocket, a tape recorder in another. His suit is quite concealing. But he leans forward and simply says, "So, whilst the rest of your coterie see to some of the business, do you mind if you make sure that he stays there for a while, and perhaps I can arrange for the sheriff to pick him up either in a nearby unrelated neighborhood to your club, or would you prefer him to come here?"
We can do whatever arrangements are best for the sheriff.
Best for the sheriff. Well, I shall get word to him presently then. If you keep him here for another hour, I think the sheriff will come and pick him up.
Marvellous. And while I remember, how did I do this time? I believe I had full, or as much control as possible over this conversation. Just want to make sure that I'm learning.
He looks and almost phases out slightly as he gazes over your left shoulder and then over your right. And he kind of pulls out the tape recorder, fiddles with it. Doesn't record anything, just fiddles with it, puts it back, and then sort of says, "Your bravado in the face of punishment. It was insightful. It was the only thing that pointed me towards an amicable solution for all involved. The Camarilla will get their corpse, and you will keep your life.
Good.
Try not to be so testing with it in the future. You're one of the few I like."
I appreciate your kind words, Otto. I have some further training that I need to meter out.
I have been told not to be so lenient in the future.
As you
Today,
said earlier,
an angel, not a devil.
this will not be a repeat occurrence.
See that it is not. My reverse would happily see him dead.
Oh, don't you worry. If this were to happen again, you'll have to get in line.
Tell me this one thing. The container number, what was it?
For the record, she will give it gladly. But out of character, my short and long-term memory, absolutely terrible.
So you rattle off the number 15015.
How am I supposed to remember a 5-digit number?
I know, yeah.
That's
It's called a
mean.
notepad.
I don't know if you'd noticed, little one, but I'm rather busy cleaning up your mess here. So don't you start.
Otto nods appreciatively though, and says, "That is a pleasing number. Oberon was right." That concludes our business. I will be keeping an eye out in case there's any escape attempts. I trust there won't be, but I must also welcome the sheriff when he arrives. It'd be good for you to be introduced to him. Until then, and he'll say farewell to the currently absent Lady Grey.
Did he know that?
Would we have been able to hear that, or are we too far gone?
Or no? I'm just asking out of character. Is that like a clue that he's spying on us, or is that just like a mistake?
That is not a mistake. That wasn't me going or fucking up with what you'd let him know. He, as far as you're aware, had no way to know about containers.
Okay.
Like that. So assuming that knowledge is passed along, that is a clue to something.
Perfect.
Yes. Welcome back, Artemis.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my screen. I'm looking at my screen, and then Chrome pops up, and I'm like, "Oh, what happened? Where did this go?"
No, it's all good. You rattled off the container number, and Otto seemed pleased with the numerical nature of it, and nodded, said he'd be outside to keep an eye out for both any potential escape attempts and also for the sheriff, who he would be welcoming shortly.
Good.
From one downstairs.
And I think with that, Lady Grey will try and find Ophelia and Oberon because she has a bit of explaining to do.
Okie dokie. So Ophelia and Oberon, then we'll go to you next. Where are you?
I would have followed Oberon, and I guess Rogue probably caught up to us by now. So we would be walking probably in tandem into the office that Eagle is in, unless Oberon, you wanted to talk to him privately. But then Rogue would probably still follow you, and Ophelia would fall back depending on what happened.
All right. So, basically, the three of you enter into the office. Slouched back on the chair with his feet across the desk is Eagle, who's currently texting with a hand kind of brushing the hair back towards his ear, hood down, blackened veins fully exposed. Seeing you enter, he quickly drops his feet to the ground and they clunk on the floor and sits back up properly. Says, "Oh, is he gone? Am I alright to come down now?"
Oh, we can just hang out in here. There's not really much going on down there. There's too many people. So many people always wanting, attention and crowding. It's so annoying. I can't stand it. I just want to be among friends.
I thought that's what you live for, though.
Well,
Unfortunately,
not today.
It's too many people and not enough souls, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Why is he here? And he kind of looks at Rogue. I thought you wouldn't want to spend any time with me if possible.
Rogue's just... He doesn't respond, but he smiles. It's quite a crooked, evil smile.
He's just getting. Uh, he's got some adjustments to make. We don't want him to be off on his own today. You know, everything. It's just been a wild. You know, it's been a wild evening.
Sure.
I'm gonna sit across from him at the desk, letting him stay in the big man's chair.
Well, is there
Well,
anywhere else he can be, or perhaps I'll just go and do some use this excuse to get some fresh air, do my feeling in the alleys.
I wanted to ask you about you and Rogue's history. I was hoping that Rogue wouldn't be here because I thought it would help you speak more freely. But well, he's a friend of mine, and I was just wondering what transpired between the two of you that has led to such an outcome.
Oh, if you don't want me here, I'll leave. But if that door opens again and he walks through it, oh,
Yeah, Eagle will definitely give you like a good look, Rogue, and if you leave, then he'll kind of slouch back in the chair a little bit more relaxed.
Why don't you just wait outside, Rogue?
of course, Rogue will step outside.
You've got good hearing. I'm sure you could listen in if you want.
Okie dokie. Let me just have a look. See here. Myself off.
You mean you don't have 100% of the details memorized?
No, not 100% of them.
I'm just kidding.
I remember the rough thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um, so he kind of leans back in the chair and puts his phone down. So, has he not told you the story then?
No, actually. I hadn't even heard of you up until like 2 days ago.
It's fair enough. I try and keep a low profile. I've made a lot of money doing this, and that's because I always get the job done. Not necessarily the cleanest, but I always get it done. And unfortunately, he's an example of a night that wasn't so clean. I was just doing kind of deliveries and the like, as I do, dispatching what I don't know to who I don't know. But some of these deliveries, let me just say that there's been interest in them from people who want to either intercept, steal, or take. I've um, I've always wanted to know what was in them myself. Always, since I've become what I am, the itch, the feel for it's got worse. But the way I got this job, the way I landed the gig, the last person who delivered looked, and they sent me his body as part of my job application, I guess you could say. The things they'd done to it, it wasn't human anymore. It wasn't a kindred anymore, or a vampire, or anything. It was just flesh rather than a person. So naturally, I'm on my guard when I'm doing these deliveries, and shit happens. If anything goes wrong, I punch first and ask questions later. My shipment had gone missing. My van, my truck, had emptied. There was this kid, I guess. I thought he was probably no more than a teenager, 14, 15, still small. Muscle, but still small. I went for him quick as I could. Couldn't see what he'd done or taken, but I went for him. Damn near killed him. Saw him bleeding out in front of me. His face a mess. The mockery I'd made of it with my fists. But he wasn't the only one there. His mum was standing nearby. She screamed. And it was a cold scream. There's not much that I remember really of my mum. The brief time I had with her. I remember my dad much better. I remember the sounds he used to make my mum make when he beat her. That scream, the pain of it. It was probably the last noise she made. That scream, it awoke something in me, I guess. Some hark, some call back to reality. What reality really is for the vast majority of people on this planet. I looked down at him, bleeding out in front of me. I mean, I had drugs on me, but needle and thread ain't gonna cure bone through the brain. I only really had one option to save him, and didn't do it for him. Didn't do it for that little shit. Did it for his mum. Patched him back together best I could. Knocked her out. Got them back inside their house. Put him in her arms. Told him I prayed he wouldn't make the mistakes I did. Left him in his home. Then, I still had my shipment missing. Knight was still fucked anyway. He's the one who fucked it. After that, it was a long night. Trying to race through. Keep my cool. Keep the idea that everything was going alright. I messed up that job, you see. As such, I owed some people big time. It took me a while to work out from underneath the debt that he caused me. Did jobs, eventually got punished and rewarded at the same time with this. My curse, my indoctrination to the clan, my diablerie. And just a couple days later, who fucking breaks my house that I've been... Oh, it's taken me a long time to get this shit together. And then he just comes and rips off the covers and blames me for leaving him. Says that I abandoned him. That fucker, I saved his life. He ain't on good terms with his mum. It's his fault. He's running around with some arsey bitch. Looks at me like I'm scum. Looks at the world like it's scum. Nah. I don't know. Don't quite know why this has all happened to me. I thought perhaps it was an excuse to do some good in the world, bringing him back. But it looks like it's just come back to fuck me instead. Trying to give, he just takes. No give back, no thanks, no nothing. That's why I wanted to fight him if he asked. Leave him dead. Go find his mum. Let her know what a shithead his son is. couldn't even get a fucking mortal. Ended up killing loads of other people instead. I don't know.
Wow. It's pretty heavy story, Eagle. I didn't know it was that deep between you two.
Wow. You know, I had to bury some part of me in him, I guess. The reason I sighed. The reason I'll probably never fucking do it again with anyone like that.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you. But
Yeah, well, the world is shitter, isn't it?
what was what was in the I didn't catch what was in the shipment?
Oh, I never knew. I went missing and didn't find it.
Huh.
Never, never peeked. I'm a man of honour in that respect. I do what's right when I can, if I can.
Wow. Well, you don't even know what the nature of these shipments were?
Look, if I did, there's no way in hell I'm going to tell you. You're plenty nice. You two are probably the nicest of the bunch. You know, honestly, I feel like there was a weight off my chest when we was walking back. You've been very inviting and welcoming, and I tried to be the same back to you. And perhaps we've rediscovered each other a bit. You guys
Yeah, you're
do
right.
business with and be friends with, even perhaps. The others I can still do business with, though.
What? So, how did Rogue? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get all the details straight. How did Rogue get involved in this again?
He was the guy who I discovered behind my empty truck when I heard something.
Poking his nose where it doesn't belong?
Huh?
You mean he was poking his nose where it doesn't belong?
Yeah.
I see. Well, that is really quite a unfortunate circumstance all around.
No shit.
Well, hey, why don't I bring one of my herd up here, and we can you can feed off them if you want. And that way, you know, you don't have to risk going outside or anything.
No, I think I'm just best with a walk. And you can come with if you want. Go do some hunting, blow some steam off.
There's just a small issue with that. Um, you see,
What?
the the harpy that was around here, well, he's not a very trustworthy character, and I'm afraid he's still got eyes inside the nightclub. Um, he did
Yeah, I'll just
make.
wear my hoodie again.
What's that?
I'll just wear my hoodie again. Those guys will try and be. They're backstabbers, sure, but they got to know what you've done first. Didn't see me as I walked in, he won't see me as I walk out. Especially if you've got a back entrance or something.
If you could just wait just a little while longer.
Come on, Eagle. What's
Uh,
your type? Sure, we have it. Just enjoy yourself. Stay down. Wait it out, and at least make it enjoyable for yourself.
what time is it?
It's about 9:30, closer to 10 now.
It's
I'd
still
like to,
early.
yeah,
You and me, we'll go on a walk together.
I'd
But
like either one of you to make a manipulation and subterfuge check. Sorry, subterfuge. Uh, as you have now repeatedly kind of gone back on yourselves a little bit. When yeah, it's fine. You can do what you want. You can feed here. You can feed elsewhere. Just want you to be comfortable. And now you've gone back on it, and you started to pick up on it.
I got 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, that's fine. So what? You gonna fetch for me?
Yeah, I'm feeling very paranoid today, and we'll go out together. We'll do something fun later. But right now, I think we should just continue laying low. I know that's what you're good at. And
Right,
besides,
you are
why
quite
bother
right.
hunting when you've got willing participants?
I wouldn't call it fetching, Eagle. I would call it procuring.
Yeah, sure. That's just a fancy word for the same thing, miss. Well, why don't you go and fetch then? I don't really have much type. Just something. Anyone with gold on them?
I'll find one of my random herd and bring it to him. I don't want to risk failing like I always
Do they
do.
have gold on them?
Um, I don't know. I'm sure maybe Elena has some. She's got gold earrings or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Wait, does Tom not mind if? Oh, never mind.
Tom knows his place,
Exactly.
Ophelia.
That's why I mind.
Um, alrighty. How many dots in her do you have? I think it's 3 or something.
Yeah, and I drank one last night, so I
So
have.
this will be the second dot
Hmm.
gone from that for the week, just so you're aware. Assuming you are allowing him to feed.
Yes.
Right. So, you bring back a willing participant, effectively. Is there any kind of stage directions you'd give to them beforehand?
Um. No, I'll just tell Elena. You know, trying to make this guy. I'm trying to show him a good time. If he does anything untoward, I'll just trust me on this one.
Okay. Um, you do so. She comes in, and Eagle begins to go to work, as it were. He introduces himself in a not brilliant fashion, all things considered. He's shabby looking. He's got a hoodie up to hide his veins because he looks a bit weird as well. Um, but he introduces himself as a magician, just that he's able to do all sorts of manners of tricks, and asks for her trust and her obedience. And you guys watch as he goes into a little bit of a magician routine, using her gold earrings, kind of doing sleight of hand tricks and other gizmos, um, before he begins to romance her a little bit. And he probably knows, given the amount of whores he's been with, that she is not entirely of her own volition paying attention to everything. That there's perhaps a little something, but he goes along with it. Um, and halfway through, he kind of says, "No, that's just all been beginner stuff. But if you want to see something real magic, with these guys' permission, I'll show it to you." Oh
Uh,
no,
um,
is she in the know?
let's tune it down on the showmanship.
Turn it down. All right.
You don't need to win her over. Elena's a obedient girl.
All right. I'll just ask you then one quick question, darling. What's your favorite animal? And she kind of thinks to herself for a little bit and then replies, that she likes birds. And there's a bit of back and forth. Oh, what sort of bird? What sort of bird? You're a nice bird. Blah 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 blah. Um, and she says that she's always found eagles beautiful. From behind his back, Eagle himself brings out um, a golden pendant made, you can only assume, from the gold of her earrings, that has been in some form alchemically changed into the beautiful shape of an eagle with wings spread. The long wings, each feather individually detailed, and claws outstretched beneath, and a little hook for some wire to go through. And he places it back in her hands. It's honestly pretty tiny. It's about the size of your little finger from end to end. But as he gives it back to her, he says, "Now, that's real magic, isn't it? Pleasure doing business with you." And he says, "If I could get some privacy for this next part."
I will quickly and gladly leave.
Yeah. All right.
There's no windows in this room, are there?
Not in your private office. There are windows to the outside, but I don't think there'd be many windows between the VIP secure room and your office.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll. I'm afraid. I don't wanna. I don't want poor Elena to.
What kind of door leads to the office?
What?
It's
Is it like one with a glass pane where you can see in?
up to you guys. What sort of office door would you buy?
I believe this was Lady Grey's office, so I think we should be asking Lady Grey.
Frosted glass.
She calls it her office, but it's definitely a shared space.
Like the office, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe Andre said frosted glass. I don't know. I was thinking
Sure.
like a regular door, but I don't really mind if we would have fancied it up a little.
If we get like a,
No, go for it. Go for it.
no, I was just gonna say I'll take any kind of glass. I'm not bothered about that. If I see anyone moving towards that door, I'd like to try something that's going to be very tricky and definitely require a roll.
Ooh.
God.
I would like to use my telekinesis to lock the tumblers of the door lock.
That is a intricate thing. Yeah. Go ahead and give me is it a rouse roll for that one as well.
Sorry?
Is it a rouse check for that?
It would be a rouse check as well, yes. Oh, I succeed this time.
Your thin blood sorcery. Sorry, thin blood alchemy, isn't it?
It's alchemy, obviously.
So do you want to give me that and not streetwise, that and larceny, please?
That and larceny, I can do that.
That's a pretty delicate thing that you're trying to do. Also in a short amount of time.
Ooh, okay, hang on. That's 5.
That's 5. Okay, yeah, that's enough. The tumblers kind of click into place, and the door is locked as Oberon and Ophelia, you go to leave. You push down on the handle, and the door doesn't move. You think, maybe it's a pull, not a push. It still doesn't move.
Oh, the door seems to be stuck,
Like we're stuck.
which
Come on,
is
you've got
weird.
to be.
That's pretty weird. Isn't there a lock on this side?
Probably pissing rogue. Yeah, there is a lock on both sides of the door.
So can I still
You'd
lock
probably
it?
be all used to it, to be honest. Or at least one of you two would.
I look at Oberon and say, "Can you open the door?"
You said keys?
Yeah, like to the office. I'm sure I would let you carry the keys.
I don't carry keys. Call Jeanette.
Oh, great idea. I walk over to the little intercom on the desk. Jeanette,
Look, I don't mean to ruin the moment or anything, but if you're gonna drink, you should drink because I'm sure that Tom is getting worried about his dearest Elena.
Yeah, I'll just wait till you guys leave. All right.
Um, Listen, I don't like it either, but I think we're basically just saying if you want to feed, you're gonna have to just do it.
I can wait for a minute. Meanwhile, Jeanette's on the other side. Like, hello, hello.
Um, can you tell us where our keys are? I mean, just come and open the office.
Right away. See you in a minute. And begins to walk upstairs. You doing anything, Rogue?
That depends on number one. Has Otto left yet? And are we now on the countdown for the sheriff to arrive?
You are on the countdown, yeah. I'd say 15 minutes has gone by while he's told his story and Otto is gone outside.
Perfect. Where is Lady Grey in all of this?
I don't know. Where is Lady Grey in all of this?
AFK.
Where did I say she was going about half an hour ago? Because my short-term memory's lost that in my brain. I think once the conversation was done, she said she was heading for the office.
Okay.
The office of Eaglin.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Mum. Eagle wants everyone to leave him alone in there with the mortal. So I locked the door.
Okay.
Just a heads up.
And we can get back in, right?
I mean, I can unlock the door.
You hear high heels on the stairs behind you.
Oh, this is a mess of a night.
Jeanette wanders up. Oh, Lady Grey, I didn't know you were up here. You got the keys, or do you need mine?
I think we should be. I don't know. Little one, do we need the keys?
The door was locked under strange circumstances, so yes.
Oh,
Then,
well, you can use
then
mine.
yes, Jeanette, your set of keys will be appreciated.
She hands over her keys to you.
And unlock the door.
And yeah, door opens for you, Oberon and Ophelia, and Lady Grey, Rogue, and Jeanette are all on the other side.
I would do a little half curtsy, and I would say, "Thank you, Jeanette. You're always so reliable." Um, yeah, Oberon was supposed to carry the keys, but he didn't. So, yeah, I'm leaving now. I know Oberon's staying in. We just need you to open the door. You can get back to your busy day, night. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And she takes the keys back and wanders back downstairs.
Kind of just glance at Lady Grey and Rogue, and I then just start walking down the stairs too. And I'm like, I gotta get out of there. It's too awkward for me.
Okie dokie.
I owe you both an apology.
I want to use my premonition just to make sure that this guy is not going to kill my darling.
Oh, you could just ask him, right?
No.
Okay, that'll take a little bit of time, but you're welcome to do so. In the meantime, Lady Grey is engaging you in conversation as well.
Yeah, was she talking to Rogue and Oberon or Rogue and Eagle? Or...
No, Oberon and Ophelia.
So I would stop then, and I wouldn't just rush past. As soon as I noticed she was talking to me, I would kind of stop.
And she's definitely not having this conversation in ear range of Eagle.
Yeah. So the door closes. Would you just go back to the next door table, the VIP room? It's definitely secure.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, I think that Oberon doesn't want to leave. What's her name? Ella. Ella.
I mean, someone
I can back
someone
him.
should stay.
Okay, perfect.
Rogue goes back in.
Perhaps someone other than the little one should stay.
I got this.
No, you don't.
Telekinesis door shut.
Rouse check?
Yep,
Okay.
Oh God, please don't
I
attack
failed.
Elena.
Worth it though.
What's your hunger?
Hunger's now at hunger 2.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because you killed people.
I killed him.
Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, it was at 0. Alrighty. So 3 of you reconvene at a table.
Okay.
As I was saying, I owe you an apology.
Whatever for.
I understand that I sprung upon what is to be Sparrow or Eagle's fate upon you without consulting with you.
Don't be silly. I don't care about his fate. Just,
Perfect.
there's no offense caused.
It's true. You're the maestro
Good.
of the little band.
I had some time while I was walking here to consider possible options of how to get around the problem of the harpy of, the Camarilla being here to discuss things, and it was the only option I could come up with.
I think it was a great option. In fact, I was thinking the same thing before you arrived.
Marvelous. Good. I don't especially like selling people out, but this solves the problem.
No, we just went in to talk with Eagle because, well, I'm something of an emotional vampire too. I just wanted to learn his story and how he affected Rogue before we lost the opportunity.
There's a friend I have that I met before over in America. His name's Colin Robinson. You should meet him.
No, it's don't mistake my compassion for condoning. I just wanted to understand.
Now that we will agree with. I do like understand reasons for everything. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page and that there was no possible animosity.
Not at all. But if my herdling gets drained dry, then I am going to be very upset.
Yes, I'm fairly sure that if that happens, we will source a replacement.
You can't replace Elena. You can't replace any of my herd.
His herdlings.
I can see.
Every one of them is a treasure.
They are specially selected. It's a bespoke collection.
Oh, God. It's so early in the night and I'm yawning already.
I probably guess that as soon as it feels like the conversation is kind of wrapped up, we would go back to the office to check on Rogue and Eagle and Elena.
Okay. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Was a premonition being incurred?
Well, at this
Or
point, how long does it take?
I mean, the way you did it last time was putting your iPod in shuffle, waiting for the song to play. So it can take a little while. Depends on the song.
Well, how long would it take for him to suck her dry?
If he got going immediately, she'd be dead by now.
I am in there though. Has he begun feeding?
Yeah.
Oh, he fed in front of me.
Wow, look at that. that in front of everybody?
Within the room.
Yeah, I went into the room and closed the door so that I was.
Yeah, she
if
would
I,
ask you to leave.
knowing that,
Nope.
I will start my premonition. I also am hoping to find out if he's intending to escape or if he feels suspicious at all.
Sure.
But
Okay.
you did say you wouldn't start drinking unless Rogue left, right?
Yeah. So whilst you guys were having that scene, back inside the office, there are three people. There's Elena, who is currently being somewhat successfully romanced, it turns out, by Eagle. And then Rogue has, as everyone else left, he walked back in a couple seconds later. As you come in, Rogue, Eagle turns to you and says, for God's sake, right, I just wanted some privacy, all right?
You don't get privacy anymore.
Well, you don't own this fucking place, do you? Others do. Listen to them. They said I could be here. You can go away. I'm trying to do some personal business, all right?
Oh, well, Tinkup, I'm not going to stop you having a last meal.
What do you
Damn
mean
it,
last?
Rogue.
Oh, this is savory.
What, you're going to try and fucking kill me in here?
Oh, the thought do cross my mind. It wouldn't be too hard.
Staring straight at you in the eyes.
Rogue's just... His eyes are slightly squinted, but he's smiling.
Hold the phone. Pump the blood. Okay. You see his eyes flit from kind of side to side after staring at you, trying to get a read on you. You fucking bastards. Camarilla
What do you
through and
expect?
through. And he's going to jump out the window.
I would like to use telekinesis.
You'd like to what?
Use telekinesis.
You are going to have to make a contested roll to try and beat him, I'm afraid.
Okay.
A, to get it off quickly enough, and then to try and overpower him.
Okay, so what am I rolling exactly?
You're going to roll a dexterity plus. What was it? Dexterity and. I can't remember what it is. For now, we'll do dexterity plus 2. Keep the game going.
Okay.
Because I know you're pretty good at your physical attributes. So your physical
Oh,
skills.
my fucking God.
You got 3 successes.
I got 1 bestial.
Okay, that's fine. As in, you rolled 0 successes and 1 was a bestial fail?
Yep.
Okay, that will be hilarious in a second. Yeah, we're going to give you something in a second, but for now, keeping the game going. While you guys are having a nice conversation downstairs, there's been this kind of bit of tense silence, a couple of jabs, verbal jabs extended between these two. And just as your conversation comes to a close, Eagle says, "You fucking bastards, Camarilla through and through," and turns around and you hear the shattering of glass as he runs and jumps out of the window of the 3rd floor. Now, Rogue, you
Yes.
rolled a bestial fail, and
Yes.
as such, I'm going to give you a compulsion. That is
Oh,
related
boy.
to this failure. And that, I think, fitting quite well here is dominance. Your blood, vampiric, as it is in nature somewhat, is going to urge you to come out on top, to establish dominance. It's driving you to not only excel, but revel in taunting the weak and challenging the strong. You are unable to back down, really. You are unable to really feel this high get away from you until death has been done in some ways, until
Oh,
you have proven your dominance over your sire.
this is great. I guess I'm jumping out the window after him then.
Yes, you are, but on a delay, unfortunately. So I am going to roll to see which window he jumps out of, northeast, southwest. See what area of the street. Okay, so he's coming off on the side street. Yeah, so you guys hear glass smash as Eagle leaves after not feeding from poor Elena, who's been effectively tossed to the floor a little bit in his haste. And strong as you like, he leaps out, crashing through the grass and claws extending into the side of the building opposite, and then begins to climb up onto the building, going from roof to roof. Gonna see if Otto sees him. Meanwhile, Rogue, what are you doing?
Jumping out that window, running right after him.
Okay, athletics and strength. The rest of you hear glass smash, and around this time you'll hear. So just think of what you guys are going to do. I'll resolve Rogue's check, and then I'll come to you three.
Would it be athletics or stamina? Or stamina or athletics?
This is you jumping a long distance to try and leap that far.
Oh yeah, no. Oh sorry, I completely forgot that strength was an attribute and not a skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my fault. Ooh, that's a little bit. That's a 4.
4 successes. Okay, so you're kind of slightly mindless in what you're thinking of at the minute. You're just like, I'm gonna fucking get him. Because of that, you don't realize that he is an actual vampire. He is an actual Nosferatu. As such, he has access to the necessary disciplines to, for instance, leap large amounts of distance all in one. And you don't, simply put. The distance that he leaped, when you were looking at it kind of horizontally, wasn't that much, it seemed. But as you jump out the window, you fall. And you're pretty heavy, so you fall hard. It doesn't really matter how strong you are. You can't leap supernaturally. And you were really unaware of this as you jumped. So instead, you just plummet, falling quickly.
Would we be there to see that?
Uh, you'll be able to see him leap probably if you're very quick in getting to your feet. You take 2 points of superficial damage, which is then halved to 1. 1 point of superficial damage to you as you fall 3 stories downwards and smash into the concrete on the floor. Your ankle shatters underneath you and you roll awkwardly and are on the ground. The other 3, what are you doing then?
To be honest, with a little bit of showmanship and that young sister kind of competitiveness, I want to use fleetness to jump out of the window after Eagle, but like this is how it's done. But also to try and catch up with him because I know that he can't leave or will be in hot water. What kind of a role would that be?
Okay. Fleetness. Okay, yeah. So I need you to make a rouse check as you activate your celerity power.
So what exactly is the rouse check?
Quick question. Do you also have cat's grace or rapid reflexes? Which of those 2 do you have?
Double check. The cat's grace. Oh
Cat's
no,
grace.
I have rapid reflexes.
Oh, okay. Let's check. Cat's grace would be sort of useful here running across rooftops, potentially. Because of the dizzying speed that you're allowed to move with fleetness, I'm going to give you dexterity and athletics plus your celerity dots to attempt the same leap. So I think you know what that roll is, and just tell me what you get.
Fuck, you guys. 6 dice pool, and I got 2 successes, possible bestial failure.
Oh my goodness.
No,
Well,
I'm beast with you guys.
you can use a willpower to roll
Yes.
up to 3 non-hunger dice.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Oh, that's much better. 5 successes.
Okay. 5.
3 successes.
Wait, 3 successes or 5?
Hold on, sorry. It didn't re-roll, it just re-rolled. Like I re-rolled the whole page accidentally.
So just keep the
Okay.
2
Well,
and then roll 3 new
Exactly.
ones.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1 success, so 3.
Okay. We were looking for 5. And 4 given your um, 4 given your supernatural power lending its aid here. Unfortunately, you fail, but I will
Not
give you
how
the
it's done.
option to succeed at a cost.
Okay.
And that cost will be letting the beast help you out here. What you will do if you want to succeed at a cost is you will still fail the jump. That has happened, but because you only failed by a little bit, instead of completely failing, you're going to hit the wall on the other side, and the beast will climb up for you. You will use that enhanced strength to climb supernaturally in the open.
How many people can I
You don't have time.
No.
You don't know.
Then I'll do it.
You'll do it. Okay. So the beast makes a rouse check for you because it is activating your blood. It's a success. Your hunger doesn't increase. And the rest of you watch as Ophelia, fast as lightning, really, runs and jumps a hare, dashing in the wind, slams into the side of the building, and for perhaps a delicate figure, you'd expect it to be a quick knockout almost, and she'd reel back and collapse onto the ground. Instead, with supernatural strength, her fingernails dig into the brickwork on the other side, and as fast as before, scurries up in a moment and gets back on top of the roof. Excellent. Next up, what's Lady Grey and Oberon doing?
I'm going to sigh. Um, once I see that Elena's okay, I'm going to say, "Go. You can go now. Sorry for bothering you." And then I'm going to go someplace private and induce my premonition anyway.
Okie dokie. All right. Lady Grey?
She is going to look out the window, which
Mhm.
is, given we all seem to have ran in the direction of the office, she's going to look out the window,
Yeah. The
see,
window's missing glass.
see that there is an idiot lying on the floor, and decide to slowly walk out of the nightclub to go pick up the idiot who decided that he could jump out of a window.
Okie dokie. So, we'll come back to the top with Eagle, who is hunger will increase again. Got it. He jumps down. Going to attempt to make a roll for that. Nice. Okay. So Ophelia, you're the only one with eyes on Eagle. You watch as he kind of stands still for a moment, hoping for something to happen. It doesn't. He turns around, locks eyes with you, and then jumps off the other edge of this roof into the alleyway. That's his turn. Rogue, you are on the floor, prone with a broken ankle. pretty fucking pissed as well, I imagine.
Oh, very pissed. Why was that a hard word to say?
What I imagine doesn't improve your mood is the fact that staring at you with eyes flitting further up the building is Otto, who
Oh
went
no.
outside to make sure that no escape attempt was made and to continue to look for the sheriff whenever he
Well,
arrived.
he didn't do a great job because an escape attempt was made and succeeded.
Um,
Rogue. Rogue knows better than to badmouth this person today. Normally he would, but today, no, 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 no. So he doesn't say anything. He just looks up at him and is waiting for that disgust to come from Otto.
Currently, it's not disgust that's on its face. It's a mixture of shock and fear.
Oh,
But are you just going to lay there and wait?
I'm expecting him to say something before I act.
He's quite a few meters from you. He's not right where you fell.
Okay.
He's kind of at the corner of the street and the alley. On
I'm
the
going to
corner.
try and pick myself up despite having a broken ankle.
Yeah, so you're effectively moving really slowly at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts. But you've
Oh,
still
I'm
got that
sure.
confidence to prove that you're the best.
Yep. So, despite moving very slow, I'm going to just start making my way in the direction he was going.
All right.
Gritted teeth, just growling to myself.
Okay. Next up is Ophelia.
If I have the mind to, I would love to kind of look around and see what the general person situation is. If I do not have the time to, I would honestly just keep running after Eagle. I'm in the zone now. Once it's turned on, it can't turn off.
It is up to you. You are very quick. You are like slightly faster than Usain Bolt quick when you run
So
flat out.
I would love to glance around if there's an acceptable amount, i.e., a small amount of like people who could see me around. Honestly, I would probably just do it. If it's very crowded, I'll run forward in a non like supernatural way to try and catch Eagle.
Okay. Um, so you look. You have to get slightly closer to the edge to have a good proper look, and it seems that not many people could see you. There are the line of people waiting to be let into your nightclub though, who heard glass smash and they're kind of looking around mainly aimlessly at what the sound was and then discussing amongst themselves. You fortunately so far haven't drawn that much attention. That being said, there are two people who saw you make a pseudo superhuman leap and climb up a solid building very quickly with your hands going through brick.
In that case, if they already saw me, I probably wouldn't really have the patience or capacity to like stop and try and fix it. So I would just dig my feet in and jump after Eagle. I'll worry about that later.
All right. So you run across the length of the roof with kind of the remainder of your movement for the turn, as it were. As you look down to see where he jumped down, you give me wits and awareness to try and spot him quickly.
Okie dokie.
And do you have any Auspex powers as well?
Yeah, I have heightened senses.
Cool. Now might be a great time to activate them if you are looking to
Let's
do. So what that does it adds your Auspex rating to your perception roll. So you get to add your Auspex dice to this, and there's other things that it does. That's
okay.
good to know as a storyteller.
4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. You do not see Eagle. It is important to first say. What you do spot, though, is light dancing through the street to your eyes is clarifying. The sound of the city around you intense. Every air honk, every car, every bit of conversation is turned up not to 11 but to 12, and you perceive the world in a grander form. As that wealth of information hits you, you are able to pick out the small pigments of trace amounts of blood on the ground from where he crashed through the window and cut himself. Not only that, but there is an extraordinarily fine amount of glass that seems to lead a illuminating trail towards him. That very quickly fades, as in there's a little patch of it where he landed, and then it heads further away from the main street into the nest of alleys.
Awesome. Yeah, I would. I think I'm caught up in it. So I would follow the trail and try and see as
Okay.
far as I could follow it. I would. And if I got to like a uncrowded enough place, I would probably even like kind of call out his name.
Sure. Now, again, we are 3 stories up, and he went on the ground. So, are you jumping off, or
Yeah,
are
sorry.
you?
I would basically take the same jump that I'd seen him take
Yep.
and run after him. Yeah.
Okay. I'll just have a very quick dexterity and athletics check, I guess, for you to nimbly jump. And you don't have cat's grace, but you still have fleetness activated, so you can add your dexterity, your celerity, sorry, to this roll as well. Oh, yeah, so it's the same roll as before. That's nice.
Oh, I have so many die, and I can do another willpower roll at the
If
cost.
you want to, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just to see how well you land.
Okay, 5 successes.
Oh, plenty. Yeah. Nimbly you land, your knees bend with the right amount of weight, and your still supernaturally strong arms from what the beast had bled for you catch you very ably, and with a slight roll, you get up, you look around, and you start to run and follow the trail. Right. Next up in my order, I think, is Rogue.
No, I was for Ophelia.
Yeah. So now it's Grey and Oberon.
Or Gray, yeah.
Oberon, are you happy if I leave you out of this initiative, as your premonition will take a while?
Yeah, I'm not chasing after this forest fire. I'm not involved with it.
Okay. Lady Grey, are you rushing out or are you walking?
I think, given that she knows, or as far as she is aware, Eagle is lost because she has absolutely no way of catching up, she's not rushing.
Okay. So in this turn, you kind of make it downstairs and not yet out, if that's okay.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay. Yeah. As long as you're happy with that. Rogue, are you going to keep on limping?
Yes, Rogue will continue to limp along. Rogue
Yep.
is not stopping, just. He could be hit with a car right now and he'd still be going.
Alrighty. So we're mainly, for the sakes of this, between Ophelia and Eagle. This will be a relatively prolonged chase in some aspects, because Ophelia, you would know from meeting this guy before that he can go invisible. But to go invisible, he has to A, break line of sight of you, and B, he has to stay still whilst invisible. And you've kind of got his scent. And you're fucking quick. So, we're going to, instead of playing through round by round, which can get quickly quite boring. We're going to, if you're happy with this, reduce it to a single roll between the two of you.
Perfect.
So I would like you to make a either your choice of intelligence and survival, adding your celerity, to try and outwit him and get it so that he can never remain still and therefore you will catch him. Or the slightly harder check of dexterity, brawl, and celerity in order to tackle him and physically get a hold of him. If he wins the first one, he will escape. If he wins the second one, then things might get ugly for you.
Okay. Just because it's my better role, surprisingly, I am going to do the tackle one.
Okay.
But as I do it, I like to call out, I just want to talk with you. But I am still tackling him. So that's dexterity, brawl, and celerity, right?
That's correct, yeah. And then he's going to respond with his strength and brawl check. He's still buffed as well. All right. He does not have much willpower left. He has none, pretty much, because someone earlier this evening snubbed him and absolutely rinsed him in a verbal challenge.
Nice. I actually got 6 successes.
He got 6 successes. Holy smokes! He got
Something you
4.
guys don't know about me is that I'm something of a boxer. Oberon's going to be the gunslinger and I'm the brawler. It's kind of funny.
Nice. That's pretty outstanding. He got 4 successes, and I was fairly sure that was going to be enough. It is not. So as he is darting between dumpsters, dodging homeless people, and scampering around in the alleys, desperately trying to break line of sight with you, you are on his tail like a hound. And as he's using all his kind of streetwise awareness to take little shortcuts, jump over everything, you are bouncing off walls, catching up with him. You can smell the scent of his blood in your nose as it's rushing into you, and it makes you probably feel quite alive. This is one of the ways that the beast loves to hunt, this primal physical chase, prey trying to scurry away from you, but you're too quick. And as there's a long open alley, you leap across, go into the air with arms wide outstretched, say, "I just want to talk," before your arms wrap around his arms before sliding down to his legs, and you both go rolling in the dust. He kind of gets up and backs away from you a little bit, but his back's against the wall, and you're in front of him, and he's not really got anywhere to go. What do you say?
Listen, I just moved here, so I don't really know what's going on, but I do know that you have to get back. I'm taking you back to the club. You're just going to stay in the office. Let's just go and don't put up a fight. Just,
Your your fucking short friend's gonna try and kill me.
well, you did something terrible.
What the fuck did I do to deserve this?
There are rules for a reason. I didn't make the rules, but
Oh, what, you turning rat
from
on me
the
now?
order.
You
Did
turning
you
rat on me?
happen to be in an
You
area
invite me
where
to your house and then you fucking turn rat on me.
listen, I don't actually like this. I think it was very, it happened faster than I could account for. I didn't even realize it was going to happen. But now at this point, it's either one of my very own or you, and you're just a hawk.
Listen, miss, I didn't do anything wrong compared to him. There are rules for a reason, you say? Well, you've got a fucking phone. Your thin blood just murdered a bunch of people. and you're using me as a pawn for it? This is why no one likes the shitting Camarilla. You invited me into your house, into your home. I thought I gave you the fucking benefit of the doubt when there was a harpy on your doorstep. I never fucking trust you. Toreador always look down on us, no matter who we are. You think you're better than everyone? You ain't better than shit. It's time for us all to learn that.
You know what? I think my because of just my touchstone and my general personality, and because nobody's around, and I know that Rogue wouldn't have been able to follow me, I think I'm gonna tell him to go. I honestly, I don't like the idea of an outside force having control over somebody who doesn't necessarily deserve what's happening to them. So I think, unfortunately, for our plan, that I would actually kind of let him slip through my fingers. I'm a young vampire. He's experienced. I couldn't catch him.
Don't apologize. That is an excellent character moment.
As Rogue, I fucking hate you. As a player to player, that is so in character. I absolutely love the dedication.
Yeah, please don't apologize.
So I'll
um,
do a little half bow, not curtsy, and I'll just say, "Listen, you know, you got to find art in everything. So just, I lost you. I was too slow, and I'll just turn around."
he takes a second um, as you turn around, and he drops the bit of glass that he was going to use as an improvised weapon to gut you with in close combat. And he kicks it to the side. And he just says, "Safe travels." And that's the last you hear from him.
If I happen to find Rogue on my walk back, I would help him and explain to him that it's too late. Eagle got away. He slipped. I couldn't catch him. And I would, Rogue, Lady Gray is probably looking for you and worried. So let's.
Yeah, so you find Rogue limping across the street, drawing a couple eyes from onlookers, and moving behind him up the street towards you. You do see Lady Grey on her way. The three of you outside your club, maybe only 30 or 40 meters from the front door. Not far at all, only across one road, pretty much.
There would appear to be someone missing.
Uh, I'm sorry. This is going to come out harsher than I want it to.
Put it
So
in simple terms.
I
Where is
apologize
he?
ahead of time, Rogue, but somebody let slip the trade that you had made, and so our good friend jumped out of the window, and although I ran as fast as I could not catch him. He also broke his fucking ankle. And then I'll pat Rogue's little head. He's gone.
Fine. Well, this fucked everything up, didn't it?
I presume if we're so close to the club, then perhaps we have an angry harpy looking at us.
You definitely have a harpy paying attention to you, though you are far away from him.
Okay.
And he's not like staring at you, daggers in his eyes. He's looking at you now, perhaps bemused.
Got it. I
Perhaps
guess.
someone would like to go explain the situation to Otto.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, Rogue's Rogue's looking at the floor, by the way, so if anyone's looking at him, he does not see it.
I will glance towards Otto and back at Lady Grey. And I'll say, I guess since I was the last one to see him, I'll go unless you want to. You are more politically inclined than
Not,
I am.
not my problem.
Got it. So I'll trudge over, sigh deeply, but say, I see you're in the splash zone, so you probably know what happened.
I am hoping that you're about to reveal that what I saw wasn't what I think I saw, and that we still have a deal.
We do still have a deal. How long can we get the sheriff to come back in just a little bit?
I'm afraid that I have already dispatched my messenger, and such instantaneous communication is not as prevalent within high ranking officials as it is with low ranking ones, my dear. He is on his way, and he is expecting to dish out judgment.
Well then, if you'll just excuse me, I gotta go make that happen.
And whilst I'm in the business of helping you, and I hope you trust that I am, I will give you some solemn advice that now would be an excellent time to stay within your domain, all of you. If you think to run, and I'm not accusing you of doing so, know that it will not help.
Yep, honestly, I've yeah, we're not gonna try to run.
It's good to
And I would excuse myself to go and see if Oberon has premonized anything.
All right. Oberon, you doing the same as last time, putting the old iPod on shuffle to invoke the randomness of the universe.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
hoping for a sign that
Um,
will. Uh, I'm hoping for a sign that will prevent my entire world from crumbling down around me.
well, uh, this song starts to play. I don't know if you can hear it, but for those who are not using music, Britney Spears' "Hit Me Baby One More Time."
Well,
It doesn't seem to actually be playing, does it?
it just started.
Oh, great. Copyrighted music.
Um, and the lyrics have a horrible double meaning, perhaps, for you. Particularly the idea that something wasn't right, and now that he's out of sight, oh oh. The It begins to reveal to you, um, perhaps the idea that though he is gone, he blames you all for the trial of today and yesterday. And you expect that though he's not necessarily a powerful enemy to have made, he is definitely now an enemy of you, and that he is going to come back to haunt you. He sees it as part of his purpose now. You perhaps get glimpses as quick and as flashy as just the length of a snare drum of monsters underneath your feet, Nosferatu hiding in warrens that you now have no way to access. your relationships with them perhaps poisoned, and your isolation as a coterie from the clan of secrets, from the clan of knowledge, that loneliness may indeed kill you. And that's the end of your premonition.
I'm going to go lock myself in a room.
Okay. Well, I think we might have a little break there, or we might call it a day. It's up to you guys, really.
Yeah, I'm
Calling
good.
it a day will be very beneficial for me because I have a fairly early start today, and I have a long day on Saturday.
Then yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
I've got
a
an
good place.
8-hour meeting.
Oh
Oh,
no.
buddy.
So is it worthwhile me writing up another character?
I will not advise against it.
Oh, Jesus.
There's. I gave you an out this time, but man, that was it was gloating that he rolled well on his insight. He managed to pick some things up, and he managed to get away, sort of. And in doing so, there's a high chance that justice will be done, and that justice may indeed be fatal. It may not. Like, the writing's not on the wall necessarily, but it's yeah. There are carpenters drawing up plans, so someone's
Oh
possibly
God.
crucified.
I have one way out, but I would require at least 2 in-day days to do this.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you done fucked up, buddy, in some ways, and one slip's definitely all right, even if the slip is a morbid, tragic slip for 13 people. Then making a deal, calling the sheriff, and having your deal run away is you're going to need another good plan. You know, it might be worth discussing as a group in Discord and things.
Hmm.
If you want
Hey
some ideas.
guys, my current plan is to Diablerize the hobby and run.
Oh my God.
You have a broken ankle.
Guys, hold
Oh.
him down.
There are also lots of people watching the harpy because he's outside the main line. But that is a possibility. The other thing that you can do is you can have Rogue attempt to run, and he can become a story player character as well. That is, and you play as someone else.
That is my son.
No,
But
we'll
again,
save Rogue.
I will remind you that everything that happens to Rogue will have repercussions on Lady. Your characters are intrinsically linked.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. Feel free to ask questions. We can also do some information talk between us as well. Everyone, if you're just kind of going, what would my character know about what the punishment for these things might be? How would this thing work? We can talk about that and do some rolls for that and everything. That's all absolutely a-okay. But yeah, again, not entirely how I thought the session was going to go. That's fine. It went closer to the plan than last time, so that's something. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
For experience points, I'm so happy I remembered, by the way. Definitely all get 2. I don't know if anyone was going to highlight anyone for a bonus experience point this session. But floors are opening for those calls now.
I have to say, I'm going to say Ophelia because names are just going blank in my mind. You've caused my character pretty much to be on death row right now, but you did it from a place of character development, so I have to say, for you to get that extra XP because, it's so bittersweet.
Yeah, I think that's
You
worth
fucked
enough.
me over, but you fucked me over by keeping in character. So
Yeah, you
I'm
kept your
so
touchstone.
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you guys were lucky to get away with what you managed to do so far, and Lady's quick thinking helped somewhat, but Camarilla needs a full man scapegoat, and it may well be that you have just let that person go from an excellent piece of RP and a very Toreador action, a very humane one. So yeah, I'm more than happy to award a bonus point there. So everyone gets 2, and Ophelia gets 3, I believe. And I think for Artemis's sake, we'll definitely formally end the session here.
Yes.
yes,
Let you go, buddy.
they need
Hard
sleep.
is all right for you,
Yeah, good luck.
Cool.
and I'm happy to hang around for a bit. But we'll conclude it there, and I'll see you all next week.